Oh, hello. Well, hello this evening. It is day 72 of reading the Bible in a year. And, there's crumbs in there. Alright, I have just recorded myself making a cup of tea, which I will edit and then put onto YouTube sometime soon. Yeah, it's not going to be great, but it'll be something. And I've got some reading to do today. I've got Judges chapters 9, 10 and 11 to read today. And then Luke chapter 23 after reading Psalm 17. Alright, this one's going to take a while, so I'll start reading now. Abimelech's conspiracy. Then Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem to his mother's brothers and spoke with them with all the family of his house. With all the family of his house of his mother's father, saying, "Please speak in the hearing of all the men of Shechem. Which way is better for you, that all 70 of the sons of Jerubbaal reign over you, or that one reign over you? Remember that I am your own flesh and bone." And his mother's brothers spoke all these words concerning him in the hearing of all the men of Shechem. Okay. And his mother's brothers spoke all these words concerning him in the hearing of all the men of Shechem, and their heart was inclined to follow Abimelech. For they said, "He is our brother." So they gave him 70 shekels of silver from the temple of Baal-berith, which is with which Abimelech hired worthless and reckless men, and they followed him. Then he went to his father's house at Ophrah and killed his brothers, the 70 sons of Jerubbaal, on one stone. But Jotham, the youngest of Jerubbaal, was left because he hid himself. And all the men of Shechem gathered together, all of Beth Millo, and they went and made Abimelech king beside the terebinth tree at the pillar that was in Shechem. The parable of the trees. Wow, even they had parables back then. Now, when they told Jotham, he went and stood on top of Mount Gerizim and lifted his voice and cried out and said to them, "Listen to me, you men of Shechem, that God may listen to you. The trees once went forth to anoint a king over them. And they said to the olive tree, 'Reign over us.' But the olive tree said to them, 'Should I cease giving my oil, with which they honour God and men, and go to sway over the trees?' Then the trees said to the fig tree, 'You come and reign over us.' But the fig tree said to them, 'Should I cease my sweetness and my good fruit, and go sway over the trees?' Then the trees said to the vine, 'You come and reign over us.' But the vine said to them, 'Should I cease my new wine, which cheers both God and men, and go sway over trees?' Then all the trees said to the bramble, 'You come and reign over us.' And the bramble said to the trees, 'If in truth you anoint me as king over you, then come and take shelter in my shade. But if not, let fire come down off the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon.'" I don't understand that. "Now, therefore, if you have acted in truth and sincerity in making Abimelech king, and if you have dealt well with Jerubbaal and his house, and have done to him as he deserves, for my father fought for you, risked his life, and delivered you out of the hand of Midian, but you have risen up But you have risen up against my father's house this day, and killed his 70 sons on one stone, and made Abimelech the son of his female servant king over the men of Shechem, because he is your brother. And if then you have acted in truth and sincerity with Jerubbaal and with his house this day, then rejoice in Abimelech, and let him also rejoice in you. But if not, let fire come from Abimelech and devour the men of Shechem and Beth Millo, and let fire come from the men of Shechem and from Beth Millo and devour Abimelech. And Jotham ran away and fled, and when he went to Beer and dwelt there, for fear of Abimelech was his for fear of Abimelech his brother. Downfall of Abimelech. After Abimelech had reigned over Israel 3 years, just 3 years, God sent a spirit of ill will between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech, that the crime done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might be settled, and their blood laid on Abimelech their brother, who killed them, and on the men of Shechem, who aided in the killing of his brothers. And the men of Shechem set men in ambush against him on the tops of mountains, and they robbed all who passed by them along the way. And it was told Abimelech. Now Gaal, the son of Ebed, came with his brothers and went over to Shechem, and the men of Shechem put their confidence in him. So they went out into the fields and gathered grapes from their vineyards and trod them and made merry. And they went into the house of their God and ate and drank and cursed Abimelech. Then Gaal, the son of Ebed, said, Who is Abimelech and who is Shechem, that we should serve him? Is he not the son of Jerubbaal? And is not Zebul his officer? Serve the men of Hamor, the father of Shechem. But why should we serve him? If only this people were under my authority, then I would remove Abimelech. So he said to Abimelech, Increase your army and come out. When Zubal, the ruler of the city, heard the words of Gaal, the son of Ebed, his anger was aroused. Ooh. Then he sent messengers to Abimelech secretly, saying, Take note, the Gaal, the son of Ebed, and his brothers have come to Shechem, and here they are, fortifying the city against you. Now therefore get up by night, you and the people who are with you, and lie in wait in the field. And it shall be, as soon as the sun is up in the morning, that you shall rise early and rush up on the city, and when he and the people who are with him come out against you, you may then do to them as you find opportunity. So Abimelech and all the people who were with him rose by night and lay in wait against Shechem in 4 companies. When Gaal, the son of Ebed, went out and stood in the entrance of the city gate, Abimelech and all the people who were with him arose from lying in wait. And when Gaal saw the people, he said to Zebul, Look, people are coming down from the tops of the mountains. But Zebul said to him, You see the shadows of the mountains as if they were men. So Gaal spoke again and said, See the people coming down from the centre of the land, and another company is coming from the diviner's terebinth tree. Then Zebul said to him, Where indeed is your mouth now, with which you said, Who is Abimelech, that we should serve him, and not these people from whom you despised? Go out, if you will, and fight with them now. Now, and Abimelech. So Gaal went out, leading the men of Shechem, and fought with Abimelech. And Abimelech chased him, and he fled from him, and many fell wounded to the very entrance of the gate. Then Abimelech dwelt at Aramah, and Zebul drove out Gaal and his brothers, so that they would not dwell in Shechem. And it came about on the next day that the people went out into the field, and they told Abimelech. So he took his people, divided them into 3 companies, and lay in wait in the field. And he looked, and there were the people coming out of the city, and he rose against them and attacked them. Then Abimelech and the company that was with him rushed forward and stood at the entrance of the gate of the city. And the 2 other companies rushed upon all who were in the fields and killed them. So Abimelech fought against the city all that day, and he took the city and killed the people who were in it. And he demolished the city and sowed it with salt. Now, when all the men of the tower of Shechem had heard that, they entered the stronghold of the temple of the god Berith. And it was told Abimelech that all the men of the tower of Shechem were gathered together. Then Abimelech went up to Mount Zalmon, he and all the people who were with him, and Abimelech took an axe in his hand and cut down a bough from the trees. And took it and laid it on his shoulder. Then he said to the people who were with him, "What have you seen me do? Make haste and do as I have done." I don't know why I'm doing these voices. So each of the people likewise cut down his own bough and followed Abimelech, and put them against the stronghold, and set the stronghold on fire above them. So that all the people of the tower of Shechem died, about 1,000 men and women. Oh no. Then Abimelech went to Thebez, where he encamped against Thebez and took it. But there was a strong tower in the city, and all the men and women of all the people of the city fled there and shut themselves in. Then they went up to the top of the tower. So Abimelech came as far as the tower and fought against it, and he drew near the door of the tower and burn it with fire. But a certain woman dropped an upper millstone on Abimelech's head and crushed his skull. Oh my word. Then he called quickly to the young man, his armor bearer, and said to him, "Draw your sword and kill me, lest my men say of me, a woman killed him." So his young man thrust it through him, and he died. Oh my word. And when the men of Israel saw that Abimelech was dead, they departed, every man to his place. Thus God repaid the wickedness of Abimelech, which he had done to his father by killing his 70 brothers. And all the evil of the men of Shechem God returned on their own heads. Literally. And on them the curse of Jotham the son of Jerubbaal. On their own heads. Who said that God doesn't have a sense of humour? Tola! After Abimelech rose, after Abimelech there arose to save Israel, Tola, the son of Puah, the son of Dodo, a man of Issachar, and he dwelt in Shamir in the mountains of Ephraim. Oh my word. He judged Israel 23 years, and he died and was buried in Shamir. That wasn't very eventful. Jair. Jair. After him arose Jair, a Gileadite, and he judged Israel 22 years. Now, he had 30 sons. 30! Who rode on 30 donkeys. They also had 30 towns, which are called Havoth Jair, to this day, which are in the land of Gilead. And Jair died and was buried in Camon. I don't know why that's funny to me. His 30 sons rode on 30 donkeys, and they all had they had 30 towns, all of which were called Havoth Jair. Oh. All right. Israel oppressed again. The children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord, and served the Baals and the Ashtaroths, the gods of Syria, the gods of Sidon, the gods of Moab, oh my word, the gods of the people of Ammon, the gods of the Philistines, and they forsook the Lord and did not serve him. Ugh. So the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hands of the Philistines and into the hands of the people of Ammon. From that year they harassed and oppressed the children of Israel for 18 years. All the children of Israel who were on the other side of the Jordan, in the land of the Amorites in Gilead. Moreover, the people of Ammon crossed over the Jordan to fight against Judah also, against Benjamin and the house of Ephraim, so that Israel was severely distressed. Well, they did the Lord evil. And the children of Israel cried out to the Lord, saying, "We have sinned against you, because we have both forsaken our God and served the Baals." That's going to hurt my voice if I have to speak like that anymore. So the Lord said to the children of Israel, "Did I not deliver you from the Egyptians and from the Amorites and from the people of Ammon and from the Philistines? Also the Sidonians and Amalekites and Maonites oppressed you, and you cried out to me, and I delivered you from their hand. Yet you have forsaken me and served other gods. Therefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry out to the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in your time of distress." And the children of Israel said to the Lord, "We have sinned. Do to us whatever seems best to you. Only deliver us this day, we pray." So they put away their foreign gods from among them and served the Lord. And his soul could no longer endure the misery of Israel. Then the people of Ammon gathered together and encamped in Gilead. And the children of Israel assembled together and encamped in Mizpah. And the people and the leaders of Gilead said to one another, "Who is the man who will begin the fight against the people of Ammon? He shall be head over all the inhabitants of Gilead." Jephthah. I'll spell it out for you. Jephthah. Jephthah. Now, Jephthah and the Gileadite was a mighty man of valour, but he was the son of a harlot. And Gilead begot Jephthah. Gilead's wife bore sons, and when his wife's sons grew up, they drove Jephthah out and said to him, "You shall have no inheritance in our father's house, for you are the son of another woman." Then Jephthah fled from his brothers and dwelt in the land of Tob. And worthless men banded together with Jephthah and went out raiding with him. And it came to pass after a time that the people of Ammon made war against Israel. And so it was, when the people of Ammon made war against Israel, that the elders of Gilead went to Jephthah from the land of Tob. And then they said to Jephthah, "Come and be our commander, that we may fight against the people of Ammon." So Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, "Did you not hate me and expel me from my father's house? Why have you come to me now, when you are in distress?" And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "That is why we have turned again to you now, that you may go with us and fight against the people of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead." So Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, how did his voice go? "If you take me back home to fight against the people of Ammon, and the Lord delivers them to me, shall I be your head?" And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "The Lord will be a witness between us if we do not do according to your words. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and commander over them. And Jephthah spoke all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. Now Jephthah sent messengers to the king of the people of Ammon, saying, What do you have against me, that you have come to fight against me in my land? And the king of the people of the Ammon answered the messengers of Jephthah, I'll have to find.
Because Israel took away my land when they came out of Egypt, from the Arnon as far as the Jabbok, and to the Jordan. Now therefore restore the lands peacefully.
So Jephthah went again, sent messengers to the king of the people of Ammon, and said to him, Thus says Jephthah, Israel did not take away the lands of Moab, nor the land of the people of Ammon. For when Israel came up out of Egypt, they walked through the wilderness as far as the Red Sea and came to Kadesh. Then Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, Please let me pass through your land. But the king of Edom would not heed. And in like manner they sent to the king of Moab, but he would not consent. So Israel remained in Kadesh. And they went along to the wilderness and bypassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came to the east side of the land of Moab, and encamped there on the other side of the Arnon. But they did not enter the border of Moab, for the Arnon was the border of Moab. Then Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, and King Heshbon. And Israel said to him, Please let us through your land into our place. But Sihon did not trust Israel to pass through his territory. So Sihon gathered all his people together and camped in Jahaz and fought against Israel. And the Lord of Israel delivered Sihon and all his people into the hand of Israel, and they defeated them. Thus Israel gained possession of all the land of the Amorites who inhabited that country. They took possession of all the territory of the Amorites, and from the Arnon to the Jabbok, and from the wilderness to the Jordan. Now, the Lord God of Israel has dispossessed the Amorites from before his people Israel. Should you then possess it? Will you not possess whatever Chemosh your God gives you to possess? So whatever the Lord our God takes possession of before us, we will possess. And now, are you any better than Balak, the son of Zippor, the king of Moab? Did he ever strike against Israel? Did he ever fight against them? While Israel dwelt in Heshbon and its villages, and in Aroer and its villages, and all the cities along the banks of the Arnon for 300 years. Why did you not recover them within that time? 300 years? How many years between the start of Judges and now? Oh my word. However, the king of the people of the Ammon did not heed the words which Jephthah sent him. Jephthah's vow and victory. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he passed through Gilead and Manasseh, and passed through Mizpah of Gilead. And from Mizpah of Gilead he advanced toward the people of Ammon. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord and said, If you will indeed deliver the people of Ammon into my hands, then it will be that whatever comes out of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the people of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up as a burnt offering. So Jephthah advanced toward the people of Ammon to fight against them. And the Lord delivered them into his hands, and he defeated them from Aroer as far as Minnith, 20 cities, and to Abel Keramin with a very great slaughter. Thus the people of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. Jephthah's daughter. When Jephthah came to his house at Mizpah, there was his daughter coming out to meet him, with timbrels and dancing, and she was his only child. Besides her, he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass, when he saw his daughter, he tore at his clothes and said, "Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low. You are among those who trouble me. For I have given my word to the Lord, and I cannot go back on it." So she said to him, "My father, if you have given your word to the Lord, do to me according to what has gone out of your mouth, because the Lord has avenged you of your enemies, the people of Ammon." And then she said to her father, "Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone for 2 months, that I may go and wander on the mountains, and I will bewail my virginity, my friends and I." So he said, "Go." And he sent her away for 2 months, and she went with her friends and bewailed her virginity on the mountains. And it was so at the end of the 2 months that she returned to her father, and he carried out his vow with her, which he had vowed. She knew no man, and it became a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went 4 days each year to lament the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite. Oh my gosh. Oh no. And that is not a way to end a story. Oh my word. Alright, I will see you in the next reading.